first things first, backstory. I got to find out how you two met, why you're even sitting next to each other in the same room. So, Bebe, if you want to deliver those goods, how did you meet Priest? How did you come across Priest? And
Man, this is the crazy thing. I was playing in Barcelona,
okay,
and my good buddy, whose name is James Gizmo Gidry, he played quarterback, and he played with me down in Kingsville.
okay,
And he came home for a Christmas break when he was at UT, and he had a videotape. Back then it was VHS. He said, "Man, you got to check out this dude named Priest Holmes." I said, "Who?" He said he's from San Antonio. You know him? I said, "No, I don't." So he said, "Man, let me show you." He jumped from the 5-yard line into the end zone, North Carolina, right?
Yeah, that was the Sun Bowl game.
At the Sun Bowl up in El Paso. So that's when I learned about Priest.
okay.
And then I was like, God dog. I said, man, I ain't never heard of this dude. So years later, one of my good friends, he's an NBA agent. His name is Mark McNeil. And he at that time he was doing NFL too. So he was trying to recruit Priest when he was at UT. And he said, man, baby, man, you need to try to train Priest. I said, man, I keep on hearing this dude. He said, nah, man, you need to get him. So when I finished football, I started training. Mm-hmm. And I think that was your first year in the league, right?
Yeah, this was after my rookie season.
After
I came home.
He came home. I was about to do a big old football camp for kids. And him, Andy Kalu, Eric Brown, all those dudes from San Antonio, I got with them. And I was already doing some training, not a lot. And he came to my little
like a press day.
Like a little press day. Yeah, he came.
Yeah. Some of the high school students.
And he showed up and I said, man, you need a trainer? And he said, well, yeah, I do. Yeah. I said, let's hook up. And hey, ever since then, I've been with him since 96.
Yeah.
Was it 96? 98.
But let me paint the picture a little bit better, Mark. The reason why I say this is because you could just imagine this. After my rookie season with the Baltimore Ravens from 1997, right? It's now the spring of 1998. I come back home. Obviously, the Ravens, we started off really, really rough. Mm-hmm. Didn't have a winning record. So, of course, no playoffs for us. So I'm back home early, and I'm trying to decide, okay, where am I going to work out at? So the first thing that comes to my mind is that I'm not at the facility in Baltimore, mm-hmm. so that's not an option. I says, well, I might as well go back to John Marshall High School. So I was thinking about going back to my old high school that was like one room with rusted weights, and you know what I mean? And it had the cages that you would go in and work out in, and most of the weights was probably iron, and it was nothing comfortable about working out, back in high school. So I was thinking about working out there, and then actually Mark McNeil, who was an agent that was always around the University of Texas, always checking up on guys and recruiting some of my teammates. He tells me about Bebe. He says, "Hey, come to this press day and get a chance to meet Bebe." And that's kind of how we ended up connecting.
Yeah. God, and see, I didn't even have a gym back then either.
Yeah, no gym.
I didn't have no gym.
Well, I guess the lesson here is no gym is better than a rusty one, because you don't have to get tetanus shots every week before you go in.
The only thing I had was a couple of jump ropes. I had an orange old ass medicine ball, which I still have. I keep it just to look at it to see where I came from.
Yeah. Don't forget the 18-wheeler tires. You had about two of those.
I had about two love those old school tires, man.
And we flipped them, Mark.
Yeah, look, we flipping those tires? Sure.
Yeah. And then I got a chain. I hooked it up to them. I started making them pull them down the field.
Love it.
Dude, they thought I was crazy. But I had to be creative if I was going to get there.
Right.
And this was back in 98.
Yeah, 98.
And I was just like, hey, if I'm going to do this, I got to go hard with it.
Sure.
And it took off. And man, we had some training. Man, they said they used to sit in their car cussing me out because the training was so damn hard.
Well, look, Mike, the reason why we were sitting there, just irritated is because you have to remember, now the kids, the athletes now, they have like perfect manicured grass.
Oh,
they also have very plush turf that they can, pull their equipment on. Look, remember I talked about Sticker Stadium? Like we were at places where it was just fields with rocks and stickers, and we're like running tires through gravel. You know what I mean? And all the cement. So yeah, it was a lot different back then.
But I'm old school. I'm still old school. And I tell all my clients when they come in, look, I ain't got time to babysit your ass. I said, if you're going to come in here, I'm going to bust your ass.
Yeah.
And I had a kid come in yesterday, want to get ready for the NBA. I had to keep it real with him. I said, look, he played at UTSA. I'm not here to babysit. If you want to do this, I'm your guy. But if you don't want to work hard, you can go somewhere else. So he said he's coming tomorrow. So we're going to find out if this is what he really wants.
Love that. Now, if it had snowed that next day, Priest wouldn't have made it there. He'll tell you about that off
Yeah,
pod.
it's a rough time. Yeah, it's a rough time working out with Bebe, and it's not too many people that do that first workout and they're not bent over early. You know, it's one of those types of workouts that he really stretches your potential and really digs deep to see, you know, what you're made of. And if you're going to really quit, you know, are you going to quit within the first 30 seconds or first 30 minutes? And so he's worked with a lot of athletes here in San Antonio.
Breaking news from Bet365. New customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets. Win or lose. Sign up, place a bet for $5 and get $150 in bonus bets. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, player props, futures, and so much more.
Hey, do you have a gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Virginia. Or 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. 21 plus only, 18 plus in Kentucky. Please gamble responsibly. Must be present in Arizona, Colorado, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, and select parishes in Louisiana, Maryland, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Virginia. $10 minimum deposit required. Terms and conditions apply. In-app only.
This has been a Playmaker production.